Hello, viewers. You are welcome to today's episode of Youth Empowerment Series. I have my two beautiful ladies for our discussion. I have with me Dr. Ama Mensah. Dr. is a public health nurse at the Parental Polyclinic. Dr. it's good to see you.
Same here, Doug. Thanks for having me.
I also have Theodora Abakwa. Theodora is a principal community health nurse. She's currently pursuing her degree in public health nursing at the Wisconsin University. Theodora, good to have you.
Thank you.
Ladies, you are welcome to today's talk show. My name is Dr. Sheila Dery Laapo. I'll be moderating this series. We have an interesting topic for a discussion this afternoon. We are going to talk about menstrual hygiene, or menstrual health and hygiene, as some people are advocating. People are advocating for it to be called menstrual health and hygiene instead of menstrual hygiene, but it will be the same concept, so we'll still look at it. The World Health Organization has slated 28th of May every year to be used to sensitize our young people and the public on menstrual hygiene and menstruation. This is a very important issue because it affects the lives of girls and women directly. Menstrual hygiene is something that is important to every woman, every girl. So it's important we talk about it. We sensitize the public and break the stigma and myth associated with it. And since this program is about sensitizing, educating, and advocating for youth, it's important for us to join in this education this period. That is why we are having this afternoon. And I believe we are going to look at it, and at the end of it all, our youth and adolescents will get to educate, have their education on it, and know what it's all about and how they can harness the information we are going to share and use it to improve their lives. Thank you. Let's look at the first item on the table. We want to look at the difference between menstruation and menstrual hygiene. There are two different concepts. We want to look at it differently, get to understand it, and then move from there. Ama, let's hear from you. The difference between menstrual hygiene and menstruation.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc, for having me again on your show. And then I will quickly say that I appreciate our viewers. Thank you very much for viewing our show every time it's being recorded. If you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly do well to subscribe and share, because it's not for just one person's consumption. We are doing this so that the youth or the adolescents will be empowered with the right information. And so this month, every 28th May, the world has set this aside to celebrate or to create awareness on menstrual hygiene or menstrual health. And just like Doctor said, it will still have the same concept. And so it is very important. It was recently I got to know the reason why they selected 5 and then 8. So they said the reason why they selected May, which is the 5th month, and then 28th is because predominantly women have the 28-day cycle, and then 5 because most of the time people menstruate for 5 days. That is the most popular ones that we know. And so that is why they selected no other month but May to signify or represent the 5 days that we menstruate. And then the 28 days, which represents the predominant cycle that people have. But then again, we do have other people having different cycles. And so we are just looking at the one that occurs the most. And so when we are talking about menstrual hygiene or menstruation, let's first of all look at menstruation. Normally, when we are talking to adolescents, we will say the monthly flow of blood, and everybody will just respond like that. The monthly flow of blood, like a chorus answer. That is what we usually know. But then again, every woman in their reproductive stage would ovulate, that is the release of egg, and then the womb or the uterus, as the medical people would term it, would prepare itself to receive a child. And so in that phase, if a girl or if a woman have unprotected sex, then you would conceive, and then implantation would take place, and then the other process will continue. But then if there is no unprotected sex, if I what I usually tell them, if you remain a good girl and you don't have anything or any sexual intercourse, then it will break and then come out as the monthly flow of blood that we usually see. So I would basically define menstruation as the monthly flow of blood, which usually is by the woman shedding the uterine lining. Like I said, it was preparing itself to receive a baby. And so if there is no conception, if there is no implantation, then it would come out of the vagina. And usually it lasts for 2 to 7 days. But then there are people that in certain cases would have more or less. And then when we look at the hygiene bits, we are looking at the practices, we are looking at the things that we do, the activities or the um, the behaviors that we put in place, just so we do not infect ourselves before, during, and after menstruation. It is to ensure that we adapt these practices. And I know that whilst we are going on in the program, we would mention a few for people to know the practices that you need to adapt or observe, just so you would stay hygienic or you stay free from infection, have a healthy menstruation, have a dignified life even when you are menstruating, and also live comfortably even during your menstruation. So that is what I can say when it comes to menstruation and then the menstrual hygiene. Thank you.
Thank you. Theodora, you tell us briefly about your book. Tell us what the book is about and tell us where people can get to buy.
Okay. All right. So my book is entitled Cycle of Confidence. It's a guide to menstrual health and hygiene for adolescents. It is an educational book designed to empower young girls with accurate, age-appropriate information about menstruation. It covers the biological aspects of menstruation, proper hygiene practice, emotional and physical changes, and how to manage menstruation with confidence and dignity. And the book can be found in Challenge Bookshop, Amazon, and Batrona Filling Station. So as Amma said earlier on, I would like to add on that menstruation is the monthly flow of blood from the uterus through the vagina. And menstruation is a good sign of reproductive health. And menstruation starts from the age of 10 years to 19 years. And some can be late, and it ends from 50. But research has found out that some people will reach their menopause earlier before the 50 years. And menstruation, it has a cycle of 28 days. So some can have 28, 27, 28, 35. But so it's between 28 to 35 that people mostly have their cycle. Thank you.
Theodora, anything on menstrual hygiene?
Menstrual hygiene is the way of keeping ourselves clean when one is menstruating. And we have a lot of products that we can use when we are menstruating. So we have the reusable sanitary pad, which can be washed and reused. The reusable sanitary pad. And we have the sanitary pad that we normally use. So we have other products that people use when they are menstruating. And when you say menstrual hygiene, it's only keeping ourselves clean, but the facility, if the adolescent girl is going to school or is in school, does she have access to clean environment or have access to hygiene materials to use when she's in school menstruating?
The second item we want to look at is the importance of menstruation. The menstruation itself, is it important, and what are some of the importance of menstruation? Let's look at it, then we can appreciate it.
Okay, so menstruation is very, very important, especially to a woman in her reproductive age. It is a cardinal sign or a key indicator that is to tell you, a woman or a girl, that you've reached your fertile stage, or a stage whereby if you engage in unprotected sex, you can get pregnant. So first of all, it's a key indicator, a key sign that you are fertile and that you can give birth. And then again, when you have consistent menstruation too, it is a good sign to tell you that your hormonal health or the hormones in you are very healthy. If you speak to people with fertility issues, they will tell you that whenever your hormones is distorted, you would have other implications that can affect your fertility in the near future. So it is also very important. It helps you to know that your hormones are intact, your hormones are balanced. And also, again, it tells you that you can also continue your generation, if I should say so. It means that all things being equal, you can give birth, and if there is any lineage, you will be able to continue it. So it's very important. And then again, during ovulation, it is a sign to tell you that you are ovulating. And so during this phase, when you have unprotected sex, you can get pregnant. And if you don't have sex, then the lining of the uterus will be shared together with all the produce in there to come out as menstruation. So it is very important. It is very, very important. If you've not encountered people with fertility issues, you might not appreciate menstruation. And that is why women are so concerned when, let's say, they go for family planning methods, for instance, and their period, they are not seeing their period or their menses. They become so concerned. In a way, they feel they might not be able to give birth again. And also, when you don't have your menses, you don't know whether you are pregnant or not, because in most cases, it is when you are menstruating that you will know that, okay, I'm not pregnant. But situations whereby your menses is not coming and you are having unprotected sex, you wouldn't know whether you are pregnant or not. So it's a very good experience for women in their reproductive stage. Thank you.
So I also agree with what Amma has said, the importance. Yeah. So the next item is, how important is menstrual hygiene to a young girl or woman? So we're not going to stick to only girls. We are going to talk about girls and women at the same time. So how important is menstrual hygiene to a young girl or a woman? Amma, please.
Okay, so when we look at the definition for menstrual hygiene, when we were talking about the definition for menstrual hygiene, we made mention of the fact that apart from you ensuring that you are staying hygienic, we also made mention of the fact that it also enhances their dignity. It also ensures they are comfortable. So one importance is that it helps them to manage or maintain their dignity and confidence during their menstrual period, or let me use period. And in that, let's say a girl in school, if they don't have all these practices at their fingertips, if they don't know how to fix the pad well, if they don't know how, if let's say the facilities in the school is unhygienic, and so it doesn't give them the desire to change themselves and soil themselves in school, it would have a way of affecting their confidence. It could be that this is the girl that's in class, she contributes in class and all, but because she's in her period, she wouldn't be able to, because she's afraid that she might have soiled herself. And so if we adhere to the menstrual hygiene practices, then it can maintain or enhance the dignity and confidence of these young girls or adolescents. And then again, also, it prevents infections in that if you are changing your pad periodically, there wouldn't be any bacteria or microorganisms acting on the blood that has been shed already. You wouldn't have those itching, you wouldn't have your private part itching for you to even introduce your finger that you haven't washed. Again, when we are talking about the practices, we are talking about hand washing. If you don't know these things and you change your pad without washing your hands, you change after changing the pad, you don't wash your hands, you just go and eat like that, you'll be transferring infections from yourself to yourself. And so it is very important that we also have this in mind, that it also promotes or prevents infection. And then again, also it promotes education and participation. You know, sometimes you go to school and then there's a girl that is very intelligent, but because she's in a period, whenever she's having her menses, she wouldn't come to school because she feels that when I come to school, maybe things might go bad and then it will affect me. And most of the time, because of the mood swings and all that, if not managed well, you would see that it would even affect the participation of that particular girl in school. And so when we adhere to these things, it also promotes education. It ensures that the girls are in school. It ensures that girls stay in school even in their period. It ensures that the girls would participate through and through, and not that they would stay away whenever they are having their menses, wouldn't participate, they will be moody, and the guys will be laughing at them and all that. And if they start laughing at them, stigmatizing them and all, it can also have an impact on their psychological well-being. And so also psychological well-being is also an important when they are able to express themselves well, when they are okay, even though they are having their period. I believe that psychologically too, they will be well. And so this is what I have to say when it comes to the importance of menstrual hygiene to girls and women. Thank you.
So I think we've all talked about infection. What I want to emphasize here is that the infection we are talking about here can be reproductive health infection and also urinary tract infection. So reproductive tract infections are those infections that will affect the reproductive system. And then the urinary tract infections are also those that will affect the urinary system. And these can all be acquired through improper menstrual hygiene techniques. So we will have to ensure that our girls do the right thing. And when they also practice these menstrual hygiene techniques, it makes them comfortable during menstruation because they are doing the right thing. They feel comfortable. They change their pad regularly at the appropriate time. They have an appropriate place to go and change their pads. They feel comfortable and they participate in education and learning and at their workplaces. Thank you. So that's just a little I want to add. The next item we want to look at is how can girls and women maintain? We have looked at the importance of menstrual hygiene, why it is important, why they have to do it. Now we want to look at how they will get it done, how they will maintain this menstrual hygiene. So how can they maintain these menstrual hygiene practices that we are advocating? So we are going to look at practical things. Amma, please.
Okay, so hand washing is very important. Usually we think that when it comes to hand washing, it is for before eating, after using the toilet and all that. But it is very important that we wash our hands very well, thoroughly, and the running water with soap before we change our pads. And here is the reason why we should do that. You could carry infections or microorganisms on your fingers or even in your hands, and then you can transfer them on top of the surface or the surface of the pad. And so it is very important that you wash your hands very well before you change your pad. And even after changing the pad, it is important that you wash your hands because you might have touched some blood, substances or the blood that you shed. And so it is important you wash them. It could carry infections without your knowledge. And so if you don't wash your hands and let's say you go straight into eating or touching surfaces, it can also affect you or transfer infection. And then again, changing the menstrual materials frequently is very important. Ensuring that you do not use the pad that you used maybe yesterday because you didn't share maybe a lot of blood. You say, oh, moja bebre amba. I didn't release a lot of blood, so let me use it again. It's not like that. It can't be like that. There could be microorganisms acting on it. And then heat too. So it gives a very good, or it provides a very good environment for microorganisms to thrive. And so it's very important that you change it every now and then. Tampons, I would say tampons are good, even though we have some myths and misconceptions about it, because there are young girls that are athletic, like those that are engaged in swimming and all those things. They cannot go swimming with the pad on. They might have to go with the tampon. And the fact that a girl is menstruating doesn't mean they should stay away from their athletic activities. And so it is important that if you are using the menstrual cups, if you are using the tampons, you change them as well. You change them frequently as well. And also we have to ensure that even if we won't bath twice, we wash that place. We wash the vaginal area or the vulva region very well before we wear another pad, just so the heat and any dirt that has been accumulated there will be washed off before we change our pad. And also we have to ensure that when it comes to the changing, at least research says that 4 to 6 hours you should be changing. But then if you have a heavy flow, then you should be considering changing frequently so that you do not soil yourself. When it comes to disposing of it too, you need to still maintain the hygienic practices by ensuring that you dispose it well. And when we talk about proper disposal, we are talking about you disposing it in a bin, covered, just so dogs or other animals around will not come and pick it and just be launching the place with it, and not dumping it in the toilet for you to clock it. You have to ensure that you dispose it well. We are talking on scientific basis, because in a rainy season like this, if you bury the pot, the topsoil can be washed off, and then by the time you realize, the pad will resurface. And so it is proper for you to dispose it properly. And also you have to ensure that you stay hydrated, because you are shedding blood, and blood is fluid. And so it is very important that you stay hydrated, drink a lot of water during this phase and even after your menses, and also eating well, so they do not even end up being anemic. And I remember in nursing school, this is my last point. I remember in nursing school, I didn't go to a boarding house until nursing school. And so during, like, whenever we are taking our bath, you will see girls that were a bit older than us having a lot of feminine products, and you see them displaying it in the bathroom, and they will use all of that to wash their vulva just so they would stay hygienic. And I didn't understand, because like I said, I didn't go to a boarding house, and so I didn't know these things. And a friend of mine who I schooled with in the same SHS, and we were in the same nursing school, said, oh, these are feminine wash. They use it to wash their vulva when they are done menstruating, just so they will stay hygienic, or they will smell good. So I said, okay. I didn't try because I am not so good with consistent using things for you. But later research helped me to understand that these things even have a way of weakening the effectiveness or the strength of the normal flora in our vaginal region. And so during menses, even though we usually think that, oh, the blood coming is dead, it is not dead. We've explained that it is the lining of the uterus together with the produce that is coming out. And so water is fine, because the vaginal area does have normal flora that protects that area, so that whatever it's supposed to do, it will be able to do. But if you introduce harsh products, it will weaken their strength, and then you would be open to infection. You wouldn't be protected again. And so we should make sure that we have all of these things in mind when we are menstruating, just so we can maintain our hygienic practices. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me add on and then we'll move to the next item. We talked about the use of menstrual products. So the menstrual products should be clean. So when young girls buy these pads and sanitary materials for use, sometimes maybe they will buy to keep. They should ensure that wherever they are keeping it, storing it for use later, is a clean place. Just as we keep our panties in a clean environment. It should be stored the same way because it can even be contaminated before being used. And also they should make sure that they wear breathable underwears. So during menstruation, that's not the time to go and wear all the tight underwears and all that. It should be breathable. And then we also advocate for cotton underwears. I think it's more comfortable to use. Amma talked about proper disposal of the menstrual product. So yeah, so it should be wrapped. I think she mentioned that. So it should be wrapped in the sanitary bags or those sanitary tissues that accompany. Wrapping it well to put it in the trash can to be disposed. Anyhow, it should be wrapped and covered well, but not to flush it under the water closet. So I think that's what I want to add. Let's
please, I would like to add something to it.
Yes, Theodora.
So with the wrapping, after we finish wrapping it in the sanitary wrapper, we can also get extra newspaper. Now we can wrap, because sometimes when we wrap it like this and we put it in the bin, ants and cats and dogs can try and open it, and in the morning you find out that your sanitary pad is open and it has been scattered somewhere. So you have to get extra newspaper that you will wrap it inside so that it's difficult for animals to get hold of it. Holding like this, and you put it in a polythene bag.
Inside.
You tie it, and you always encourage them to have extra sanitary pads, extra panty.
So the next item is, why should parents or guardians be interested in the menstrual hygiene of their young girls? So these are adolescent girls who have started menstruating. Why should their parents or people taking care of them be interested in the menstrual hygiene of these young ones? So Amma, you were
okay.
Yes, take it again.
So, like we made mention when we're discussing mentorship, that socialization first takes place in the home. And so if the child is supposed to learn anything, it should start from the home. And the home is where the parents are. So it is important for the parent to get involved in the well-being of their children, especially their girl child. I'm not saying the boys are not important, but because of the new phase that they are in, it is very important because they have to educate them. They have to let them know what they are going through and understand whatever that is going through, and let them know that it's nothing bad. It is actually a good thing. It shows that you are now of age, and if you have unprotected sex, you can get pregnant, and then they can add any other education to it. So it is very important that the parents get involved for educational purpose and for guidance. And also, they need the emotional support that they can get. And that is what the parents can also give to these children when they get to this particular phase. In that they might go to school, some boys might be laughing at them, they might have soiled themselves, they'll be ovulating, might be going through the mood swings and all. The parents, first of all, would have to understand these things so that they can offer their support to them during this particular phase. And also they should be involved so they can provide the resources they need to be hygienic. We are championing menstrual hygiene, and so if the children need the material to stay hygienic, it is the responsibility of the parents to provide for them in the first place. Recently there was this a master's student that visited my facility, that he was doing thesis or something and needed my support. And he was also doing it on adolescent sexual and reproductive health. And he made mention of the fact that a girl in his daughter's school had to break her virginity because she needed money to buy sanitary pads. And it was so disheartening, it was so sad to hear this, that parents have neglected their responsibilities. I know pads are now expensive and all that, but then these are essentials that you need to provide for the child when they are going to school. And so if the parents had provided these things, I don't think the girl would have gone ahead to break her virginity just so a guy could be providing for her, providing sanitary pads for her. So it is important that parents get involved and provide all those things. And even apart from the materials, the facilities too. The parents are to ensure that they have a very conducive facility for the children to use when they are when they are their menstrual period, or even when they are living their life, their normal lives at home. I remember that when I started menstruating, I was shy of the guy at the provision shop, so I couldn't go and buy pad. But because my dad was involved, I was a daddy's girl. So my dad was so involved in our lives because he didn't have a sister. So my three sisters, my two other sisters, including myself, who were his sisters. And so anything that concerns us, he's so much involved. So I remember during my menses, I would need pad and I'll tell him that, Papa, please, can you buy pad for me? Then he would ask me, I wouldn't say anything, but I said, okay. Then he would go and buy the pad for me and ask me, do I know how to fix it? I would tell him, oh, yes, of course, I know how to fix it. Because I have two senior sisters already. And in school, two nurses used to come to our school to teach us all those. I am good. It was actually my dad who first saw that I had my menses. I wasn't so close to my mother at the time. So you see, if one of my parents wasn't there for me, maybe I would have communicated this to some colleagues of mine in school, and it might have ended up, in a result we weren't expecting. Because it was the case that when I went to school, before my dad even got to know, and my sisters and my mother got to know, I went to school and I was having a pad in my bag. And every minute I'll go to the washroom and go and change. Every minute I'll go to the washroom and go and change. So it was my colleagues around me that realized that all is not well with Dorcas today. We don't understand why she keeps going to the washroom every now and then. Then they called me and told me that that's not how we do it. So you have to wait for this particular hours before you can change yourself. So when I was confident enough to discuss with my dad, my sisters and my mom, and they all came in to educate me more to understand the things that are going on around that time. So it is very important that parents get involved in this crucial. It is very crucial. So it is important that they get involved.
So we are looking at why parents or guardians should be interested in the menstrual hygiene of their young girls. Why should parents or guardian be interested in the menstrual hygiene of their young girls?
Yeah, a parent should be interested in their daughter's menstrual hygiene because it helps the girls to feel supported and safe. If anything, she's able to open up to her parents. So one of the reasons why I wrote the book was I realized that most parents don't know how to start the conversation with their daughters. So I brought up this book so that if the girl reads it and she's having any challenge or any question, she can go and ask her mom. Although the answer might be in the book, but it will create an open conversation between her and the mom or between her and the father. So parents should support and break the silence with stigma around menstrual hygiene when they support their girls during this time. Yeah, than seeking support from outside. Friends might give them wrong information, which might not be good. So if the parents are involved, it will help the girl to feel comfortable and open up to them. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So I also want to add that even before the girl starts menstruating, we should start preparing them. We say adolescents start from age 10 to 19, and usually somehow most people will be menstruating. No, some will be menstruating around. Some will even menstruate earlier than 10. So I'm thinking that if you have a daughter and she's 9, as a mother, as a father, it's better you start having this conversation about menstruation with your child. I know the schools have some reproductive health education with the children starting from, I think, class 3 or class 4. Yeah, the school have some in their curriculum that sometimes they would give them some education to have an idea. But as a parent, as we said the last time about mentorship, we should be responsible for our children, and we should be the number one mentors or guardians to our children. So when you have a daughter and a child is 9 years, start having this conversation with the child. Let the child know that soon she may be menstruating, and if she starts menstruating, first she should let you know. And then these are the steps she may have to take. You can even introduce the pad to the child. Let her know that this is how the pad looks like. Demonstrate it, how it's fixed in the pant. You can even give the child one pack of pad to keep in her items. You never know when it starts. You may not be around for her to run to for a pad at that point before you get to know. So I believe we should prepare them by age 9, have that conversation, and then build on it going forward. And taking responsibility for the cost of their pad. Pads are now expensive. We should ensure that we are giving them money, we budget for pads for them. It's not right for them to have to cut on probably the pocket money we've given them to feed on in school to buy pad. And if that happens, then the scenario Amma discussed is likely to happen, because it's a big deal getting the pad to use during your menstrual period. And if they need it, they will have to go every length to get it, including giving their bodies out to boys in order to get it. So it's very important. Let's check that. Our next item is, how can young girls and women prevent infections? What we've been saying looks like they are interrelated, but there are differences. How can young girls and women prevent infections? And in this case, we are talking about reproductive infection and urinary tract infection, any infection that will affect the vaginal area. How can young girls and women prevent infection before, during, and after menstruation? Because this infection can actually be gotten before menstruation. It's not only during the time of changing pad that people are likely to get the infection. They can actually get infection before their menstrual period starts. They can get it during their menstrual period and even after the menstruation. Well, after menstruation and before menstruation is connected. So how can they ensure that they stay hygienic, clean, they stay clean and protect themselves from infection during these phases? Theodora, let me start with you.
All right, thank you, Doc. So just like washing our hands to protect us from germs, certain habits during menstruation can also protect us from infection. So before menstruation, we have to wash our hands before touching our sanitary pads, and also store our products in a clean and dry places. So just like this, I have this bag here. I always encourage the girls to have the bag that they will keep their sanitary pad inside and have extra panty inside. So they always have to prepare themselves when they are menstruating. So when they have this bag always in their bag, whether they are menstruating or they are not menstruating, it will help them to be safe. And when they put their sanitary pad inside this bag, it prevents some piece particles to enter. Just an adolescent girl will buy meat pie, will sharpen her pencil, and put it in the same bag that her sanitary pad is in. So when she's have this bag, it protects her, the sanitary pad, to be contaminated. So these are some of the things that they have to do before they menstruate. And when they are menstruating, so they have to change their sanitary pad. Some things that, sanitary pad is expensive, so I'll use the sanitary pad throughout the day. No. Within 3 to 4 hours, you have to change it and put on a new sanitary pad. You shouldn't wear the sanitary pad for a long time, because sometimes when you wear it for a long time, you might end up getting infection, and you have to change the sanitary pad, because wearing the sanitary pad for a long time can cause this infection that we are trying to prevent. And also, we don't have to insert our hand inside our vagina when we are menstruating, because you think that the place is dirty. So when you are cleaning, you have to insert your hands inside your vagina to clean the place well. And some ladies will be using detergents, soaps, and other materials which are not advisable to use. When it happens like that, you are destroying the pH system inside our vagina. And when it happens like that, rather introducing bacteria inside our vagina. So when we are doing during menstruation, We don't have to insert our hands or put any foreign objects there. We just have to wash our vulva with clean water. We can even put Dettol inside our water and bath with. Even can put lime. And after menstruating, we have to even shave our private parts well, because some people say that, oh, when they are about to menstruate and they shave, they be feeling some itchy. So you have to make sure that your private part is clean. You have to shave it well when you are menstruating or before menstruating. Thank you.
Thank you. Amma, please add on.
Okay, so just as you categorize them before, during, and after menstruation, I will just add some few points to what Theodora just shared. So first of all, we know that infection happens when your immunity is suppressed or it's compromised. So eating well can also enhance your immunity. So before even your menses, you should eat well. It's very important that you eat well, you eat from all the food groups so that your body can benefit and get the right nutritional needs, that your body can get the right nutritional needs that it needs to, requirements that it needs to boost your immunity. So eating well is very important. And also, because of heat, looking at our weather, how warm it can be sometimes, you should ensure that the underwear you are wearing are not so tight. They are comfortable enough for air to pass around the private part, so that infections or microorganisms cannot thrive there. And also, it is important that you bath regularly. Bathing is very important. And also during the menstruation phase, or the menstrual phase, like Dery rightly said, she's mentioned all that needs to be mentioned when it comes to during menstruation. But what I would want to add, so it is important that you dispose of your pads very well, and then like Theodora said, you don't put your fingers there. You ensure that all the products you are using are not harmful to your reproductive organ. Thank you.
Thank you. So talking about washing the private parts, I think it shouldn't be only during the menstrual period that we should be hammering that people shouldn't put their hands there. Even when we are not menstruating and we take our bath, we are not supposed to put our hand in there when we are washing our private part. We wash the outside, the vulva, with soap and water. The inside is a no-go area. As science has indicated, the vagina washes itself. So you don't dip your hand in there to wash anything. Just wash the outside with soap and water. That is enough. It should be the same to prevent infections. Okay. Let's look at some myths and misconceptions of menstruation. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions surrounding menstruation. It has brought about a lot of stigma and societal taboos that seems to have imprisoned girls and women. It has boxed a lot of girls and women into some corner because of these myths and misconceptions. Let's discuss a few of them and try to, as they say, break it or dispel them. Theodora, I'll start with you.
Yeah, people think that when you're menstruating, you are dirty or impure. No. The fact that the blood is coming doesn't mean that you are dirty. Because without menstruation, there wouldn't be any procreation. So I would like to let everyone know that when you are menstruating, the blood doesn't make you dirty or impure. And also, in some communities too, when you are menstruating, you cannot cross a river or go to a particular place. And with this too, we are trying to talk with the opinion leaders for them to understand that menstruation is not dirty. So whatever is happening, they have to let the girls cross the river or do whatever they are doing. It's only when you are feeling these menstrual cramps or you are not well that maybe you cannot participate in any activity. But aside that, we have to engage ourselves in activities for us to be very active when we are menstruating. So you shouldn't say, oh, when I'm menstruating, I'm sick or I'm this or I'm that. No, you can do everything that you have to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Amma, kindly add on.
Okay, so I think Theodora has so, but I would want add a scenario. It's not even a scenario. This is something. This is a true story. So when we were in JHS 2, 3 thereabout, there was this boy in my class. This boy is very intelligent, very very intelligent. He was even our school prefect, our boys prefect at the time. And I remember we went to his house. So usually friends will gather ourselves and go to one person's house and watch cartoons. So that is what we used to do. So we went to his house time ago and we were talking about ourselves, puberty and all these things and menstruation, And he was like, no, in his family, when a lady is pregnant, he's not supposed to come close to the man because he's from a royal house. And for chiefs, women who are menstruating are not supposed to come close to them. They are not supposed to cook for them. They are not supposed to come to their bedrooms and all that. It's a taboo. So I asked him that, would he also do that when he goes? And he said yes, because that is something that even his father is doing. So when the mother is menstruating, she doesn't go close to the husband. And I said, okay, so what if you are hungry? He said that is why you need lots of wives, so that if one is menstruating, the other will be there to cook for you. Now, he recently got married, so I'm glad we are having this discussion. Right after the discussion, go and look for his number and ask him. Now that you are married, when your wife is menstruating, does she cook for you, or you are still on that when wives are menstruating, they are not supposed to cook for you? You there, you have one wife, so what happens? You now buy food from outside, or you've now learned enough to know that all these things, all these things were just the misconception. I feel that then in the olden days, they had some sort of understanding, but they didn't know how to communicate it well. And that is what became a lot of myth. In that this that they are saying do not cook and all that. I feel they knew about these menstrual cramps and how it is for women when they are menstruating, how uncomfortable some are. And maybe to say that, okay, because of what you are going through, you can rest, and then maybe when you are done and you are more confident, comfortable, you come back to cook. They rather changed it in a way to make it scary and all those. Yeah, I feel sometimes when I listen to some of these myths and misconceptions, I feel they were to communicate something, but they couldn't do it the right way. So, yeah, so that is one clear example that I have to add to this. So there are lots of myths and misconceptions going on there. I think that we need to talk more, create more awareness on these things, just so people understand that it's no death, it's no impurity, it's nature doing its own thing. So we should allow it. Thank you.
So I think the next item we just tie in there, and Theodora, I will still start with you. Should boys and men learn about menstruation? Should our boys and men learn about menstruation? And then explain if you think they should. Why should they?
Yeah, I think boys should be involved when we are talking about menstrual hygiene or menstrual health to the girls. It's not only girls affair. It's both boys and girls. But today, for instance, I met some adolescent and I was asking them, are they supposed to sit inside to listen to what I'm trying to tell the girls? Or they say, oh, they want to go out. And I said, no, you have to learn. So when you marry or when you see that a friend has soiled herself, you can also give her the support. So I also taught them the support that they can give to a particular girl when she's menstruating, like putting a cardigan or taking her to a convenient place when she soiled herself, than laughing at them. Because when the boys also get to know about menstruation, they'll appreciate and they'll be able to appreciate these girls when they are menstruating. And now the good news is free sanitary pad for every girl in school. So now I don't think the men will use that as an excuse to impregnate these girls because the girl needs sanitary pad. Thank you.
So let me teaching with the free sanitary pad for every girl in school, then I'm all coming. So I think this we need to do some more education, because I saw on social media people are picking on the current government for sharing sanitary pad to girls in school. You know, I don't want to mention them, but some of these social media activists were saying that this one they are using it for rituals. It was so funny to me. I was like, they were like, yeah, why of all things, why is the president sharing sanitary pad to girls in school? It's for ritual purposes and all that. And I was thinking, no, they don't understand the principle. These are even policy. These are policies that WHO is pushing down countries, governments, and world leaders to take up to support a girl child in achieving menstrual hygiene. So I think also publicity should be done well. What the government is doing is good, but some people don't understand. And they are surprised. I mean, some of these social media, like, this is ritual. Oh, no, you won't go and give them food.
Ghana is not the first country to distribute sanitary pad. Other countries are doing it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is it's also a misconception, and they don't have patience. So whilst government is doing what policy WHO is required for government to do for each girl in every country to achieve menstrual hygiene, to help achieve, they should educate the general public to understand, because people find it weird that upon all things, why are you giving sanitary pad for girls to girls? And they are saying it's for ritual purposes. So they should beef up their education and publicity on the reason why it is given, so that they can educate the public. Yes, so that's what I didn't know the quantity, but I think 3 sanitary pads for a term. The term is approximately 3 months, right? So 3 sanitary pads for a term. It may not really depend on the flow and all that, but at least it will support halfway. I think Ama, please come in.
Okay, so with the boys, it is very important for them to be empowered when it comes to menstruation. Is that these are boys that are brothers. They have sisters at home. They have female colleagues in class. And so they should understand these things so that they can offer their support to them. These are the boys that grow up to become bosses, become pastors, they become headmasters, they become pastors. They end up holding important positions in society. And so when they are empowered, when they have these vision, it helps them to put in place facilities that can be conducive for women. Now imagine your husband is someone that has been empowered. When you are menstruating and you're having menstrual cramps, he's not coming to tell you to still go and cook, where he's understood that there are some cramps that goes beyond just cramps and there can be some fertility issues. When your board understands these things, they will put in place structures to ensure that when maybe because of ovulation or menstruation, your mood is being distorted, he will understand. Even though sometimes we women can also abuse things, at least they can put in place things to make our work comfortable for us during our menstrual phase. And sometimes I remember there was a time I was educating some youth and their pastor was there on menstruation, and I made mention of the fact that there are times that your church member, you as a pastor, you realize that this particular girl is not getting up around this time. She hardly gets up during worship, even though you try to order her and all that. You don't know what she's going through. So if your pastor understands the things that goes on during these things, he wouldn't be angry when he sees the congregation, women sitting during worship and certain things. If he doesn't see that this particular worship leader is not so lively or bubbly this time, would understand that, oh, maybe she's ovulating or she's menstruating, and that is why her mood is a bit distorted, and would even offer their emotional support. So it is very important for boys and men to be empowered, to be equipped, and to know more about menstruation. That is why I like what Ghana Education Service is doing. They are ensuring that they say male inclusivity, they are including the males whenever you are having to, and trust me, even the males, they have more information more than the females. You would engage them and the boys will have all the answers to the questions. And that is to tell you that these boys are interested in such topics, and so we shouldn't start lying them when we are talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm happy about that part, because I think in the past, when some people are going to give talk on menstruation, menstrual hygiene, they will separate the girls from the boys and say this is for girls. No, we should educate all of them together. Like you rightly said, these boys have sisters. These boys will grow to become men and they will marry. They will marry women. They will have daughters. So it's better we educate them now. We sensitize them. We empower them with the information. So there should be nothing like this is for girls, this is for women, boys. If some other people are still doing that, we'll use this medium to tell them that when we go to a place to give a talk on menstruation or menstrual hygiene to these young ones, don't separate boys from girls. Don't separate men from women. Let the men and the boys also learn about it. They will get to know that this is a normal biological, they will know that menstruation is a normal biological and physiological process of the body. And the female body needs to go through that. That is how God created it. That is how God made it. So it's normal. It is not any, excuse my language, as you say, it's not any dirty thing. It's not any dirty blood. It's not anything spiritually evil. So it's a normal biological and physiological process. And this will also help prevent the stigma and the discrimination against girls and women, and break all the societal taboos that we have around menstruation, because it's the men that put in all those barriers against women. So they should understand it so that all these barriers and stigma can be broken. Thank you. So we are almost done. The last but one item is still tied to the one we just discussed. How can boys and men support girls and women during their menstrual period? Because sometimes we need help during that period. How can they support? I think a few have been mentioned again. We can just add on to that. How can they support? Maybe they don't know. So let's tell them the support we need. We are all female here. When we are menstruating, how do we expect our brothers, our male friends, our husbands, and the like to support us? Please take it.
Okay, so hello, our boys. This is we ladies advocating and pleading with you that let's normalize the conversation surrounding menstruation. It is so normal for us to talk about menstruation. Now, the help that you can give us is not to feel odd when we are talking about menses. It is a natural phenomenon. We've already established that. And so when we are talking about these things, please, let's normalize it. Let's not feel jittery about it. Let's avoid the use of jokes and derogatory words when you're talking about menstruation, because without it, we can't assure you of our fertility. And so let's normalize communication about it, and also ensure that you also educate yourselves. Educate yourselves whenever there is an opportunity for you to learn about menstruation. Please do well to learn. Take the initiative to learn things about menstruation. So educate yourselves, take the initiative of learning about menstruation and all that there is to it, and also offer practical help when you find yourself in school, at church, wherever you find yourself. If you see a girl or a woman who has soiled herself, do not stigmatize them, do not isolate them. If you have a jacket, if you have a cloth, if you have handkerchief or anything that you can use as a help, kindly offer it to them. And a tap on the shoulder to reassure them that all is well, I think will go a long way to give us the support that we need and even our confidence. So you are our brothers, you are our boyfriends, our partners, our husbands, our pastors and bosses and headmasters, teachers, and all that there is. So we need your support during this time. We need it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Like we said, the men and boys should support us. I'm also thinking that house chores, we've said that already in the past. Women, girls are usually engaged with a lot of house chores at home. During this period, our brothers, our husbands, our boyfriends, our male friends, if they can relieve us of some of the chores, especially with women that seems to have difficulties during their menstrual period. Some women don't find it easy at all during their menstrual period. Other women, it's normal. You won't even know that they are menstruating. That's fine. But if you happen to be around your sister, your wife, your girlfriend who has difficulty during menstruation, you should be pathetic towards us and then offer the support, relieve us of the stress during that time. And also escort that female friend or sister to the health facility if it becomes unbearable, because some of the pain can be so unbearable that some women have to actually go to the hospital every month to get some kind of analgesics to put their pain down. Paracetamol does nothing to such pain. So they should escort such women to the health facilities and offer them all the support. You just mentioned that if in case a woman soils herself, the brother nearby should tap on the shoulder to say all is well. That will go a long way, because you know why? The female who has soiled herself is already feeling ashamed. She's feeling, so this is so private that it shouldn't have been seen and someone else have seen. But this is where the education of men or the empowerment of men would be fruitful, because such men have been empowered, they've been educated, they've been sensitized about menstruation, and they know it's a normal process. So if they see a lady who has saw herself, all they will say that, oh, don't worry, I know this is normal. You reach such a person, this will go a long way. It will be priceless. If not, that lady, the next time it will be avoiding you. She doesn't even want to see you. She doesn't want to meet you because she's still feeling that something bad happened. But if you reassure such a person, so I know this is normal, don't worry. It's normal, like eating and food has soiled your dress, it's normal. It will go a long way to break all the discomfort this bring. But that can only happen when we have educated our boys, when we have educated our men. That is when this stigmatization, discrimination, and barrier can be broken. So we have to do more. I'm hoping we are not going to be doing this only on the 28th of May every year, but it should be an ongoing conversation that we have with our adolescent boys and girls frequently. We do school health education frequently throughout the year. Should we keep this till one day or 1 month the whole year to do it? We can have it every term. We can have a conversation on menstrual hygiene and menstruation with our children in school, alongside the many topics we'll be treating with them. So this is the little I want to add. So we'll just take our final word for our young girls, for our women, for our men, in fact, this is for everyone. This is not final word for just girls and women. It's final word with this topic.
Okay, so my final words to our girls, our women, our boys and men is that, first of all, I'll start with the girls. I understand that you are not dirty when you are menstruating. You are not impure when you are menstruating. It's nature doing its own thing. And it's beautiful to menstruate. I mean, it's a sign of your health. It's a sign of your strength. It's a sign that your body is incredibly designed to produce and to continue generations. And so it's a good thing. Hold on to it. Be proud of it. Take pride in it, because it's our pride. I have no idea how scary it is for a woman not to see a menses, especially when she's not pregnant. And so do not be shy of it. Our men, our boys, Please let's normalize conversations surrounding menstruation. Offer your support when you become our bosses, our headmasters. Provide us with the things that we need during these times. Sometimes, if you have female friends, you can sometimes buy them some pads, as a gift. Sometimes even birthdays, you can offer them some pads, some sanitary pads. After all, what is human being? Just buy it. There's nothing stigmatizing about buying a pad for a woman. And trust me, we will love you if you can go a step further to stand at a shop and buy a pad for us. It just shows how mature you are as a man. And so feel free. Let's not isolate ourselves from the women when they are having their menses. It's nothing bad. If your woman can cook for you during menstruation, that is a plus for you, because most of the time women don't want to do anything because of what they are going through. And so when they cook for you, eat. There's nothing wrong with it. They've not done anything to the food. Eat and eat with an open mind. And trust me, that food will be more nutritious than anything. We just need your support. We need your love during this phase, because it's not easy. It's not easy. So we need the love and support that we can get from you. Thank you very much for being there for us. We appreciate you, our dear men and boys. Thank you.
My last word is similar to what you have said. My last word to our men, our boys, our brothers, husbands, uncles is that support us and give us all the help we need during this special period in our lives. And then, yes, buy a pad as gifts. I think we will love it. Add it to the many gifts. If you are coming with a flower, add a pad. If you are making a hamper, make sure you drop in a pack of pad there. We will appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Viewers, we've come to the end of today's episode of Youth Empowerment Series. We believe it's been an impactful one and beneficial. Kindly share this video when you come across it with all your contacts. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so, and turn on your notification bell so that when we post the video, you'll be notified to check on it. As we said the last time, our next recordings will be on importance of sleep for our youth and adolescent development. We had to pitch in this menstrual hygiene topic because it's relevant. That's why we brought it before the sleep. But the sleep topic is still coming on in our next recordings. Thank you and watch this space. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.